Not even in.
It's not backstage.
Oh, let me go find out if you're down at the bottom here.
Sherry.
What
Want
is-
this while we're going?
We're live.
Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to try to finish up on the our heritage and our heraldry, whatever the symbols and signs and banners of our forefathers. All right. I guess I'll pray us in. We'll get started. Lord, you ask to be with us tonight as we go through this history, and you said it was important for us to know our heritage. We ask you to give us discernment and guide us through this message tonight. We say these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So, according to my secretary, Sherry, this is where I left off. And I guess we'll start with the tribe of Ephraim, symbols and his heraldry. Anyway, Ephraim was the youngest son of Joseph, but he received the first birthright. If you remember, Jacob, rather than blessing his son Joseph, instead passed the blessing to Joseph's two sons, adopting them as his own. They received a greater blessing than his other sons. Ephraim now being the firstborn and Manasseh the second, followed by the other tribes of Israel. Now, we know that Ephraim had three symbols, the first being the bull, and then either the unicorn or alternatively the symbol of the horn. All right, and as you can see there, I don't understand the unicorn, but okay. It's a mythological figure, but it works, right? You see it on a lot of shields. Okay, is that correct?
Is
Here we
it
go.
just because maybe the unicorn has the one horn, and so
Right.
that would be the most? I mean, it's kind of like a horse with a horn, right?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so we have the Duke of Somerset, Northampton. Was it the state of Mecklenburg,
Yep.
Poland?
Mecklenburg.
Um,
Are we sure it was a unicorn and not just the sword sticking out from the back of the horse?
nope, it wasn't a jousting stick.
I tried.
Okay,
Question.
yes.
In the Old Testament somewhere, I vaguely remember the mention of a unicorn. But
Yes.
is that a mistranslation and should be more along the lines of the single-horned rhinoceros?
There's speculation about that. I remember that. I think that's in. I think it's in Genesis that it mentions it. No, it's more like a antelope, the single-horned antelope that you see in Africa now.
Wild ox.
It's what?
Wild ox.
It has one horn.
It says the Hebrew word is reem, R-E apostrophe E-M, and it's been translated as unicorn. In some Christian Bibles, it's translated as oryx, wild ox, wild bull, buffalo,
Right.
or rhinoceros.
And
Right.
That would also fit better with
The bull.
the bull on the Ephraim shields,
As the wild ox, right?
Right.
Yeah.
right, instead of the unicorn.
And it was Isaiah 34:7.
Okay, well that was Isaiah, but even in Genesis, there's a talk of a translation of unicorn, and back then it talked about it being like an antelope with a
In
single
Psalm
horn,
92:10.
like a gazelle, except it only had one horn.
Yeah, the word unicorn simply means one horned.
One horn, right?
I found one of Daniel that says a goat with a notable horn between his eyes.
Yeah.
And then
Similar
it's in Psalms 92:10. It says my horn shall thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
Yeah, I think it more is a symbol of singularity.
One horned.
Yeah, one horn, right.
Rem. RE''EM.
Okay. Anyway, so let's look at the bull here. The bull symbol was the last of the four primary symbols belonging to the four camps. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
On the four sides, right? Ephraim led the southern camp, which also included Manasseh and Benjamin.
Right.
They put all the young ones in the back.
How rude.
How rude. Age has seniority, so be quiet back there. Okay. Anyway.
Shush.
I'm with him.
Shush.
I couldn't jump out of that one. All right. So anyway, anyway, these symbols, you'll see the town of Yermat, France, and different places on there. But look at the state of Mecklenburg on the very bottom on the right hand or left hand side. You have the bull with the crowns. Do you notice that?
Yeah, and the
Phoenix bird.
yeah, but it's a lion, isn't it?
Yeah, one's a lion and one's a phoenix bird.
Yeah.
All right. So you're getting some definitely crossovers into tribes there, right? You kind of symbolically see that. The Duke of Somerset, he has the bird on the very top of the plumage of the helmet. Far left top,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
I researched that plumage on the helmet.
yeah,
It really means nothing. It's just that helmets naturally had flat feathers, and so that's usually why they put them there. If there's a helmet, they usually put the plumage.
right,
Yeah.
the plumage, right? And militarily, the plumage was the signal to the other members of the unit where their leader was.
Yeah, and they said that they were using the plumage, and I could be wrong, but this is the research. They were using the plumage instead of carrying their banners.
Right. Right. So, well, because if it fell in battle, you didn't want to lose your shields, right? Right. All right. Even today, we don't carry the flags into battle. Well, if anything, we wear them on our arms.
Right.
Right. Okay. So anyway, that's the name England is derived from one of the Germanic tribe names, the Anglos who invaded Britain in the 5th century AD. Anglos means the bull or horned one. Did you know that? All right.
Is that Anglos as in Anglo-Saxon or?
Yes. Anglo-Saxon. Yeah.
Okay.
Anglo, England, Ingles. It's a derivative of the group, right? So England or English means land of the bull or people of the bull, respectively. In other words, land people of Ephraim.
I can
So
understand
if you say you're full of bull, maybe it's a compliment.
especially if you're from England.
I'm not going into that one. I'm not going into that one. That one's on you, okay?
Bullocks.
The bullocks. Bullocks, right?
Bullocks.
Yeah.
Bullocks.
Ben would appreciate that. You know he would.
Well, he'd appreciate the one above it if you look at that one. John Bull
Yep, because he's
Is an
Benjamin
imaginary-
John Day.
is an imaginary figure who is a national personification of England, similar to the American Uncle Sam that we have, right?
Ooh.
Originally in 1760, Bull was portrayed as an Anglo-Saxon country dweller who was jolly with no nonsense view, entirely of native country stock.
Wow. Uncle Sam.
You see the bulldog down there
Mhm.
in the picture with him? You see the bulldog?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Winston Churchill, he amplified this image. Remember, he wore the top hat, the heavy
Yep.
coat, and the bulldog went with him. Yeah.
Yep.
Very common, right? I don't think he ever wore the shirt with the British flag on it, but who knows about his underwear, right? Who cares, right?
Sure
Anyway.
wish you'd been my history teacher when I was in high school.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. It was fun. Anyway, let's go on. Now we're going to go to the unicorn of the horn. This will help you guys understand this more. Came from Moses. Ooh, prophecy that one day Ephraim with his horns would push the children of Israel to the ends of the earth along with his brother Manasseh, and we will shortly get to that. Ooh.
Mhm.
So in Deuteronomy, right, his glory is like the firstlings of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. Okay? So that was pretty close. Genesis, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy, yeah.
Yeah, it was close. Anyway, the coats of arms. Most famously, the unicorn is very clearly visible in the coat of arms of the United Kingdom, but also that of Scotland and Canada. Towns include Bristol, England, Rossburg, Scotland, St. Lo, France, Germund, Germany, and Geigen, Germany, Sips, Hungary, Romash, Switzerland, Linz, Czech Republic. All right. So the surnames there you can see on the top. I can't make that any bigger. So
Wright, White, Wilkinson, Pierce, Foster, and Hunter.
right. Well, the Foster and Hunters have the horns, right?
Right. And the
other
other four have the unicorns. Yeah.
All right. Now, if you look at the village of A, Netherlands, the blue one right in the center, bottom, it has a wave in
Yes.
it.
Ooh, that's what I wanted to know about was the waves.
Isn't that the bad one? Isn't that the unstable one?
Yeah,
That's
Zephaniah. Is that right?
hold on.
No, didn't we talk about the waves and the chevrons the last time? There were specific things about them.
Yes, that's coming up at the next section.
Okay, I'll leave it
Yeah.
alone then.
Okay. But anyway, I'm just pointing out things, okay? They're on here. If you look at the royal arms of the United Kingdom, they also have the horses, the lions. They have some. It's hard to see on these, but there's different things on there. Well, the town of Edinburgh, Netherlands, Enkhanaf, anyway, it has three horns. So that's the third generation. 3 generations there on that symbol, by the way. You have different things. Anyway,
The one next the top
second
right
from the
to
left,
Yeah.
right? Because
3 horns,
yeah, 3 generations or 3 tribes.
a crown, and a lion.
Yes. So it's very kind of easy if you figure this one out. So you got Ephraim, you got the Lion of Judah,
Right.
which
And the crown would be the castle or the tower?
Yep,
The waves is Reuben.
Reuben. There you go, Reuben. So, and that kind of makes sense with the Netherlands. They're mostly a port or fishing community.
So that's Simeon. Simeon
Simeon?
is the tower.
Okay, Simeon. All right. Anyway, that's the one for the horns. What's the next one there? Oh, prophecies. Here we go. The only nation to accomplish such a feat of pushing the Israelites or Europeans to the end of the earth would have been the British Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Combined with the fact that the United Kingdom has a unicorn symbol and the size and scope of British Empire would clearly fit the greater blessings Ephraim received compared to the other Israelite European nations. It's reasonable to say that the UK fits Ephraim. The symbols are very plain there. Right? Of course, England is arguably the most diverse nation in terms of European tribes and clans that settled in there. The Phoenicians, the Britons, Anglos, Saxons, Jutes, Danes. Anyway, it keeps going, right? Nevertheless, the UK seems to be the largest concentration of Ephraim, and God fulfilled his promise with the United Kingdom and the British Empire.
Okay.
It should also be noted that the next great empire, that being the United States, could not have been established without the British Empire, which paved the way. It is interesting that God, through Jacob, swapped the blessings around for Ephraim and Manasseh. Manasseh, the single great nation, could not be established without first Ephraim becoming a company of nations. On top of that, the other nations of the New World, such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, also were largely made possible by the British Empire, which ruled the seas. And this we'll get to next. Okay? The next one, Manasseh. All right. Tribe of Manasseh. Manasseh was the eldest son of Joseph, but he gained the second birthright and would rise after Ephraim. So Manasseh has two symbols, the arrows and the diagonal cross. What do we have on our symbol? The American eagle with the sickle and the not the sickle, but the wreath and the arrows,
Okay, so Ephraim was the horns
right?
and
Bull.
the horns and the what?
The bull?
Aren't they the same thing?
No, one's singular, the other one's double.
Arrows. Okay, arrows.
Bull, unicorn, horn. Who's Ephraim?
Right there.
But he has arrows too.
I'm trying to go back.
Am I missing that?
Go back one more.
There you go.
Okay.
Nope.
Bull, unicorn, horn. Okay, so not arrows. That must be Manasseh then.
That's Manasseh with the arrow, right?
Okay. And then so Manasseh has
Hang on, we're getting there. There you go.
right, arrows and a cross.
And a cross. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, man, whoop. Didn't want to go too fast. But anyway, the diagonal cross. And that's going to come in important here when we get into the last part of this. Anyway, the arrow symbol. Sometimes a bow and an arrow or a crossbow and an arrow is from the prophecy of Jacob blessing Joseph. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him, but his bow abode in strength, and his bow I can't say that. Can you guys read that? His bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. That's in Genesis. Okay, so the coat of arms, which we had the prophecy, right? Both of those, that same verse is just to clarify. So, what did we see? Oh, the United States of America. What does it have?
What does it have?
Well, we have the
Arrows.
vegetation. We have the arrows, so we're part Manasseh.
Where's the arrows?
Over
In the
here.
grip. This side in the grip.
Oh, I thought that was wheat.
Nope, that's arrows.
Okay, got it.
Right. The other side is the green side, which is prosperity and agriculture, right? So we have Manasseh with what?
That would be Manasseh's the vine. Fruitful.
Fruitful. Oh. Do we have a double blessing?
Vine on a wall. Yeah.
But we also have the eagle or the bird.
Which is Dan.
Dan.
The tribe of Dan.
Right. Why are we the most powerful agricultural nation in the world? I think we're kind of doubly or triply blessed there. Prosperity within we grow more wheat and produce more agriculture than we even consume. Right? Okay.
Is that an olive branch though?
People say it's an olive branch. I have not been able to. The oldest term I could come back was when the foundation, when they were making up this, it just showed a greenery. Some say it's an olive branch, a piece, but we're not.
Which makes me wonder if it's not Asher.
Could be.
Fortune, happy, and abundance, because that's
Abundance.
the tree.
Yeah. That's the tree,
Instead of
right?
vine.
Right. But maybe a limb of that, or vine off of that tree, or a portion off of that tree, right? Does that make
But
sense?
Manasseh's a vine, so, and that's who we're supposed to be.
Basically, America is right.
Right.
Right. So as you see some of these, the bird with a bow, an arrow, right? The Russian outpost of Czechoslovakia, anyway, region of northern Slovenia, Finland, Netherlands, um, some places in Germany and England there. But most of the time you see it. You don't see a lot of it, but when you like the country of Netherlands, I don't see a bow on there at all. Do you? The second one from the top on the left.
Netherlands?
No, I see a sword and a lion.
I see it in his paw, in the very
The right paw.
right paw or left paw, right paw.
His right paw.
Is there
Yeah.
arrows there?
I think.
Well, let me see. Can I make it bigger?
I don't know. Can you?
Let's see.
Country of Netherlands.
It does look like arrows when I get closer.
Okay.
Arrows to me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. All right. So, but he's got the arrows in his grip there, right?
Mhm.
Like the eagle, right?
Like the eagle, right? Right. Okay. Okay. Anyway, if you look at the one of Borough of Wedding, Germany, you do have the castle. See the peaks, the three peaks, with the lion at the middle one, the very
The
top
tower. Yep.
at the
Mhm.
tower, with the wings and the arrows. Okay.
So that is Judah,
Right.
Simeon,
Right.
and Manasseh.
And Manasseh together. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys are getting it. All right. Okay. You just keep breaking them down. Okay. All right. We're going to go to the next page here. Manasseh, the cross. This one kind of. So the diagonal cross is the same cross Jacob made when he crossed his arms when he blessed Ephraim and Manasseh. Remember, he crossed his hands over like this?
Yeah.
Okay. And when he switched the blessings, making Ephraim the eldest and Manasseh the second to come later, right? So on Scotland and Ireland, of course, they have the diagonal cross flag. It's commonly believed to be down to St. Andrew and St. Patrick, two people who conveniently seem to have had the exact same symbol, but I would disagree and say that it's far older than that, going back to Jacob's blessings. Okay. So the old Anglo-Saxon country of Merca also had this cross. Well, I wonder where we got America. From America. Huh.
You're funny.
Isn't that funny?
America.
America, right? The Mercian kings are said to have a direct connection with the German monarchs, so that they must have brought that symbol over. The Amsterdam coat of arms has 3 crosses on it. The country of Kildare in Ireland also. The original American Confederate flag was the cross with 13 stars. So
Right.
It wasn't a slavery flag, was it? It was a symbol of Manasseh.
Okay. And so they kept Manasseh by keeping the arrows, but adding the eagle.
Right.
And the vine is also of Manasseh. So
There's a lot to his. Very prosperous is what it is.
mhm.
He became a great nation after Ephraim. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Does it make sense to you guys?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right. Anyway, you see the crosses on there. Scotland and Ireland and where's that? England and Scotland, America. Yeah.
Sterling,
United Kingdom has,
Booth,
right?
Jardine, Andrews.
Yeah. I like how the country of Kildare, Ireland did theirs. They have the, looks like a harp on it.
Yes.
They have the swords. They have the horse, the head of a horse, it looks like.
Is it a horse or a unicorn?
I can't tell from mine because it's too small for me.
Looks like a horse.
Right. I think it's a horse, or could it be a seahorse? And then, but they also, what's on the very bottom there? It's a plant with blooms on it, right?
Right.
Again, we have prosperity in agriculture or land, right? Growth. Nope, there you go. Yeah, it's got the blooms on the plants, right? And that's a seahorse on the one in Ireland.
Mhm.
And if you go back, we've had that before. Okay. Okay. Now you can shrink it back. All right. Guys, any questions on those? Not really.
Mhm.
All right. So Manasseh, like Ephraim, received a greater birthright than the other European tribes, Israelite tribes, meaning that we should look for a nation considerably more prosperous than the rest of the European nations. Furthermore, whilst Ephraim would be a company of nations, that's supposed to be nations, not nations, Manasseh would be a single great nation. It would rise directly after Ephraim, the British Empire. Only the United States of America can fit that prophecy. It is no wonder that both the coat of arms display the arrows of Manasseh and the early Confederate flag displays the diagonal cross of Manasseh. Combined with the fact that America shares a kindred relationship with the United Kingdom, and that certainly fits the two brothers, Ephraim and Manasseh, being separate and greater than the other European nations. Kind of prophecy, isn't it?
That county of the Ireland, that's a horse and acorns.
And acorns, okay. Well, yeah, that's prosperity, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So last one is Benjamin, I believe, right? And now his is a wolf, just a wolf, right? He was the youngest of the 12. He was the second son of Rachel. He had just one symbol being the wolf, right? Kind of knew that. Okay, here we go. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil, right? So, well, there's a lot of places here, right? We got Belfast, Northern Ireland. We've got Switzerland, Germany, Poland, Norway, and 3 Germanys there, right? But I think it's I do not know the district of Prignitz, Germany. There's a duck on there, or is that a swan or something?
It's a goose.
Yeah,
It's
like
like a
goose.
goose.
Somebody goosed the wolf, right? I don't know. I have no idea what that is.
Food
Anyway,
for the wolf for later.
yeah, maybe that's the prey flying away that he's trying to catch, right? Anyway, the one of Regamine, Germany, the third one from the left on the top, again has the castles with the
Mhm.
towers, right, with the wolf. It's just they're very. The Switzerland and the Germany one, all they did was the same animal, basically, right? One's red, one's black. You know. All right. So anyway, that's pretty simple if you just look at it. There's lots of little clues on it, and there's be more clues as I go through the next thing that I upload. So of all the apostles, all of the apostles were Benjamites except Judas Iscariot. Did you know that? Do you guys know that about the apostles?
No.
Including Paul of Tarsus. As Christ said, he chose them all. It was prophesied that Benjamin would be a light to Judah. As the apostles awakened their brethren, they spread the gospel amongst many of the Judahites and traveled to the lost tribes, originally just Judah. Right. So the Apostle Paul also first only traveled to European colonies with descendants of Judah, and then to the other lost tribes of Israel all over Europe, eventually even reaching the Germanic tribes that were Germanic. Okay, that one. Tribes that were deported tribes from Assyria. So why was it important for Paul had to understand the tribes and follow them too, didn't he? And he would.
We had a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, right. Anyway, as you can see, we the Europeans have the Israelite symbols everywhere. We inherit them from our ancestors. They are spread out in all of our nations, and many other nations even fit the prophecies in a precise manner. That is because we are the children of Jacob and his 12 sons, the patriarchs of Israel. We are the same people as the Israel of the Old Testament. All the promises that God made were for us, to our people, forever. Those prophecies were for all of them, right? So we're entering a time now when we as a whole will finally wake up and realize the truth of who we are. So wake up and work hard to spread the truth to your people. This link to this study online is as below there. And I'm at truthvivids.net, heralding symbols of the 12 tribes of Israel. So you guys can look it up if you want. All right, or study it on your own. All right. So I'm going to present.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. People copying it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paste it in the thing.
I did last week, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did paste it, right? It's a nice place to go back and look at all the symbols on these again, you know?
okay, we're good.
All right. So I'm going to add this one to the stream. And see, let's go back to the beginning. All right. And this is family Namlu. Wait, interpreting the symbols of the family crest. This is the 101, class 101. You can take more classes if you want. So let me expand this. You guys see that all right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I thought this would be very helpful for some of the things that we've gone through. So family crests are also, what? Sorry.
Back up.
Back up. Are you still copying? Okay.
I'm just noting down what time it pops up.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I got it saved on mine, so.
I probably do too, but I'm going to put it in my notes so that I can refer to it anytime.
Okay. All right. So family crest, also referred to as coats of arms, varying designs, images, and colors used, right? Your ancestors most likely spent considerable time and effort in creating that family crest that you can still be proud of today, right? When you get a hold of your family crest, you may wonder what the design is all about. So bear in mind that each and every part of the family crest has special significance, and that the choice of ornamentation, colors, and embellishments was made based on specific attributes that your forefathers valued during their time.
Okay.
Okay? Kind of important. So we're going to cover the colors in the family crest first, right?
Okay.
So when you look at a family crest, the visual impact are its colors. Colors were used most commonly as background of the shield, right? So here's the colors as we know it today, and the general characteristics of the colors of the coat of arms, right? So if you look at black, that's what we see today. And back in the time of the heralds, it was called sable, right? And it means grief and what is that?
Constancy.
Yeah, constancy, right? It's a little misaligned there, but that's okay. So blue was azure, it's loyalty and strength. Gold, or was called ore, the tincture's ore, was generosity. Green was called vert, and is loyalty and love and hope. Maroon was called murray or sanguine. Is that right? What?
Sanguine.
Sanguine. Okay, whatever you want to pronounce it.
Mine's right.
Sovereignty, justice, and regal. We know purple or purpur. Well, I'm sorry. So green was patient in battle and victorious. The purple is sovereignty, justice, and regal. Right. Red or gold is martyr, warrior, strength, and military. So silver or white is peace and sincerity. And orange, Tani or Tane, is worthwhile ambition. Okay, so if you see these colors in your crest and in your different heralds, backgrounds, banners, they have meaning. Kind of an interesting little thing. I might have Sherry put this up on our webpage. I can send it to her and she can upload it later, huh? I just tell you guys ahead of time. If you start in these classes on these crests and things, it's like going down a rabbit hole. Okay, it can take you a lot of different places. You have to be careful.
Of both peace and war.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your guys' favorite color there? Right? Well, we have blue, red, and white, don't we, on our flag?
Yep.
We have loyalty and strength. We have martyr, warrior, strength, and military. And silver or white is peace and sincerity. Still part of the flag, right?
Yep.
What if it was a crest? But we also know what it means biblically, right? That was in my thing. How about this? How about the animals? You guys always are wondering about animals, right? These are just some of them. So if you have a bear, it's a fierce protector. A boar, a fierce fighter, fights until death. The boar's head, do you remember those from the old movies, the English movies? The boar's head was a tavern, was hospitality, right? The bull, magnanimity and valor. The image was also used as a charm to prevent injury during battles. The deer or the stag was politic, skillful, or a lover of harmony, used to represent all Celtic ancestors. That was the deer. The dog, usually the greyhound or the talbot, fidelity, courage, or loyalty. Dolphin was charity or of affection. The dragon, the valiant defender. A fish of high nature or a regal. This animal is often used to represent gods and a lot of different. Now, this is not talking about just biblical ones. You'll see this on different ones as you go through and do your research. Some of them are on ours, some of them aren't, right? The fox, wisdom or wise defense, right? The griffin, ooh, that's a mythical creature, right? Signifying vigilance or valiant soldier. The horse, we have a lot of horses on there. That symbolizes readiness for duty. The leopard, endurant and valiant warrior. The lion, it's always fierce courage, all right? Often used to represent a great warrior or a chief. The rabbits, also known as hares or conies, was a peace-loving. The snake, wisdom, also a symbol of renewal and fertility in Ireland, long associated with lightning. You ever heard the expression, he struck like a lightning? The snake would strike like lightning.
Mm-hmm.
So quick you couldn't see it, right? So we have a tiger, we have a tortoise, you have a wolf. Perseverance and effort or siege. These are just some of them. I didn't. There's more, but we already have a whole bunch from our heritage side. These are additional ones that you might see on some of the crests, right? Oh, guess we have birds in there too, right? Have you seen it? Oh, okay, here we go. Friendly crest, not only mammals, reptiles, and mythical creatures, rather birds perform part of the design with each species donating a distinct quality. So a dove, considered the bird of God in Ireland, it's not supposed. It doesn't signify peach. It's supposed to be peace and love. I just copied this one, so they misspelled it themselves, right? It's a New World peach color. Anyway, eagle, representing the person of action, power, noble nature, or strength, the protector. You remember on some of these that we saw with the family crest, and the particular surnames, you they had the peacock on there for
Mhm.
pride and beauty, right? The swallow or the marlet, uh, mart, martlet, um, is usually the sign of the fourth son, indicative of a person who has lost his land. The marlet symbolized perpetual movement in Ireland. Um, would be like gypsies.
Hmm.
They didn't have didn't own anything. They just traveled around, right? How about the swan? That one we just saw earlier, I mentioned was um, from a certain part of England there, or Germany. It had the fox and the swan. Poetry, musical harmony. The swan was believed to carry the spirit of the dead Celtic chieftains to the next life. So you're getting somewhat into the family crest. You're getting in some of the pagan worship.
Mm.
Have to be careful, right? That's just some information that I found. All right, now this is one where you guys will probably be more interested. The shield in the family crest also contains specific markings, right? They're called marks. So a bend is a description. There is two diagonal lines running from the upper left-hand corner of the shield to the lower right-hand corner. The meaning is represents the knight's scarf signifying defense. And you guys can go back through the other ones. A bordure is a smaller image of the shield within the shield. You remember seeing those? Like 3 or 4 different little shields in it. It's a sign of honor used to differentiate between family members bearing the same family crest. So, like if you had three generations of Manasseh, you might have 3 different eagles, right? Or 3 different arrows, different things like that, right? The canton is a small square located on the shield's upper left-hand corner, meaning it represents a flag added to the arms that have been possibly granted by a sovereign chevron, right? Um, a sovereign entity. Um, I put also in here note also 2 lines bent into right angles. Those are like the chevrons on a sleeve of a military uniform, forming a point in the center of the shield. It can also stand for the roof of a house, signifying faithful service and protection. Well, when you're in the military and you wear your rank, you are symbolizing your devotion and your sworn oath to God and country, right? To protect it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's where the
Mhm.
chevron comes in, right? Um, Chief, it's a horizontal line at the top of the shield. Have you seen those that go just across? And the meaning there is suggestive of authority, dominion, achievement in battle, or wisdom. So the higher up on the shield the line went across, the higher the authority or the achievement in battle. And these guys would mark their shields when they had conquered things. Okay. We'll talk about the cross now. It's on there. Remember the cross? The one that goes both vertically and horizontally. Right? A large cross that covers the shield's whole width and length. It's indicative of a Christian who served in the Crusades.
Mm.
So they gave them honor within the family or within the crest, right? A fess, it's a description of another word they use is 2 horizontal lines running through the center of the shield. The meaning signifying that the military belt and represents honor, right? Um, the pale, it's called a pale, it's 2 vertical lines in the center of the shield. It's a sign of fortitude and military might. So you might see a fess and a pale put together, like 2 lines horizontal and 2 lines vertical, right? So you have a military belt with honor and also military might and fortitude. Right. How about a pile? It's a triangle whose apex is pointed downward, an inverted triangle, a chevron that's inverted, meaning it represents wood for building bridges, signifies building or construction. Uh, that's they put it on there for the shield, right? And then the last one I have there is Saltaire. A cross that looks like a big X. We've seen that one, right? Covers the whole shield, meaning represents St. Andrew's cross, signifies resolve and resolution. These are just a few of the features and ornaments most often used on family crest. If you don't find these particular colors, bursts, beads, or markings in your family crest, it may be due to your ancestors' efforts to really fashion a one-of-a-kind coat of arms. You didn't want to copy somebody else's, right? Don't lose hope. With a little more time devoted to deeper genealogy research, you'll find, and some use of imagination, you'll eventually be able to unravel the meaning of your family crest, as well as the story that's behind it. So this was just an entry into 101. There's 102, there's 103, there's 104.
So the lines on mine go the opposite way of what the previous page talked about.
Okay,
The
so
top's on the right, not on the left.
okay, so if it's on the right, it would be a joining family.
Mm.
Okay, or a joining tribe. Does that make sense? When they were joining together? If you think about it, okay, let's go this way. I shared this to Sherry the other night. We all know about totem poles.
Yeah.
What's the top of the very totem pole mean?
The head of the tribe?
The head of the tribe, right? Okay, and they would recarve that totem pole in the next generation when they added the next leader under whatever family, right?
Okay.
So, so you might have a regular shield with a couple of like a dragon on it or a lion on it,
Yep.
and then another tribe joins in with that one, and they may bring in a bull or a horn or an arrow or
Or another lion.
another lion. Might be this. Yeah, I just from the same family, but not of the same family. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so they could bring in and put their. It would be on the left is always. Let me
So
get
it
this.
could be two lions, and they just did the two lines to represent two.
Exactly. And if they carried both equal, what do you call it? Authority or representation within the tribe, they would be equal sizes. And some of them, you'll see the smaller lions with a bigger lion or a different emblem, right? But there'll still be some lions added, right?
So basically, at some point in time, the alpha male of the family married an alpha female.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
And
Or
they were
it was
equal.
well, it was, and you got to remember in the time of the in England, a lot of the times, it was marriage of union of areas and land and um, country, right?
Yeah.
You marry off one family member, to another family, so that you could have
Land.
land or unification.
Or
Much
peace
like,
treaty.
yeah, much like Solomon with his 100 wives or 1,000 wives and concubines or whatever.
Mm,
It was to keep peace, right?
right.
He's the only one who didn't have any, right? All right. So it's just that's all I have for this. I know you guys probably have some questions, but whoop, I didn't kick you out, did I?
No.
Okay. So anyway, if you got questions, if you write them down, we can go ahead and do some other research on them. I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to put that slide back.
Yeah.
It's interesting if you get in once you get into it. I think that's the one I had, right? Yeah.
I thought it was plugged in.
What you did?
Okay, there we go.
Huh?
What? Ask questions.
I asked as we went along.
Okay.
I can ask on Rumble if anyone has questions. Hang on.
So for mine, there are multiple different ones, but they have the same concept. But I've got one that's red and gold. I've got one that's black and white. I have one that's gold and white, and I have one that's blue and white.
Okay. All right. They got that one pretty well covered, didn't they? All right. So we go back to the colors, right? All right. You have what? What's the first one?
Well, I don't know which one to choose. I'm going to go with Hopper England, okay, because that's where I think that it is,
Right.
and it's black and white.
Okay. So we have grief and constancy, and white is always peace and sincerity, right? So they're suffering through peace and sincerity, right?
Okay,
Does that make
and
sense?
then it's topped with towers.
Okay, so
This is
that's
Simeon,
Simeon, right?
right? It has a shield,
Ah, okay.
and within the shield are more towers,
Ah, so we have more tribes.
and then also on the shield are some type of flower.
All right, so that'd be the bloom, right? It looks like a yellow crest with the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's yeah, that would be the bloom of a flower or the prosperity
And then there's a helmet with plumage.
with the plumage, right? So they also did have military or some military strength,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because sometimes you'll see plumage without a helmet,
Ah,
right? I've seen that before, right?
it's pretty.
Okay, it's pretty. Okay, I go along with that. All right.
Nobody's
Anyway.
responding on Rumble.
No questions on the Rumble.
Okay. All right. All right. So next week we'll be starting Jeremiah, and I have an intro already done.
And that's the first Tuesday of the month, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right, first Tuesday of the month, right?
So we'll do
And-
intro, and then
The
we'll have
first chapter.
board meeting, and then we'll start the first chapter, right?
Right.
Oh, the intro's not that long, huh?
Mm.
The intro's only about 2 pages, page and a half. And the first chapter is only 19 verses. But when you get to chapter 2, there's 34 verses. It's a big chapter. But I think if once we understand the intro will give us a clear understanding what was going on with Jeremiah in his time and his life. And it also helps explain. Do you remember in Isaiah they talked about the group of Israelites or people from Judah that fled to Egypt?
Yes.
Jeremiah was later captured and taken by fugitives from Judah to Egypt
Mm.
for his own protection.
And I've heard two different stories on that.
Right. So we need
Some believe he was captured,
right,
and others believe he did it voluntarily,
right.
and knowing that God had told him not to.
Yes.
Right. He wasn't in. I just let you know that he wasn't in Egypt very long, and he passed away.
Right.
But he stayed after the third. What do you call it? Assembly or conquering of the people into captivity. He stayed behind and still tried to take care of the Israelites that were left.
Right.
So I think he did it because the king at the time was killing everybody. Anyway, we'll get into it. It'll be a great story. You guys will like it.
Yep.
Anyway, I've got the first 5 chapters not outlined completely yet, but I'm working on it. So. A lot of story there.
Very cool.
I think what I'm going to do is eventually retire and just do a storyboard of all the stories that I've done or read, my history, biblical history, and make a storyboard for kids.
Cool.
I think that'd be cool.
I see work in our future.
Yeah, a little bit. You get to type. I'm going down.
All right. Well, it's
In the, we need to get him that talk to text.
Yeah, that'd probably help. Does it have corrections for dyslexic and stutterers?
Word does it natively.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
got it for him.
Translator or
Dragon Slayer,
Dragon
whatever it was.
Fly or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah, I got him a program that did that a long time ago, but he hasn't used it, and now it's built in. My computer will do it for me.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
you just talk to the computer and it'll type away for you.
Yeah, I need
Yep.
to hurry.
Yeah, it's like talking into your phone, talking text.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I don't use that on my phone, so I don't think it understands hick.
I was going to say, you don't think that it understands redneck or what?
It does.
It's me just fine.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right,
All right.
ready to pray out?
I'll have Dave do it tonight.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the discernment. Thank you for the genealogy study, and we ask that you continue to allow us to find our family history back to the original blessed people. And so when that wonderful day comes, we will know where to go hang out, and we don't have to go running around getting told this seat's taken. So we just know where to go, and we thank you in advance for that. And we just ask again that you be with the leaders of this country, Lord, and change it back to what its foundations were built on, which was you, which was the rock, and not on the soft sand like it feels like we're on now. And just be with everybody that's listening in or watches later, to just let everybody have blessings, and we just say all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All
For
right.
sure.